Today I'm here to discuss the demonic entity I unknowingly invited into my residence, also known as Furby Boom. And on today's episode of I Have a Weirdly Specific Pair of Earrings to Match Every Single Topic I Ever Cover, we have these gorgeous long Furbs. And just before we get into things, I now have a Patreon, so if you'd like to support the channel and more importantly see pictures of my cats, the link will be in the description. And with that, let's go over my nightmarish experience with Furby Boom. Furby is a line of robotic bird-like interactive toys that kickstarted the market for robot pets. The first Furbies were released in 1998 and the franchise is still going strong today. I'm not sure how this 75 quid circle with ears with the tagline "Free your inner Furb" is keeping this toy line alive, but you know, kids buy anything. The original 1998 Furbies were pure innocent souls. I had the white one, he was an angel, loved that guy. But over time Furbies became more and more advanced to keep up with the ever-changing trends in the children's toy market. The most iconic of all the Furbies to date is of course the original 1998 model. They come in the most colours out of any other type of Furby, and they're easy to deglove, if you will, so they're great for turning into long Furbies. However, due to their age, they are prone to some pretty creepy glitches, as mine was. They also have some really interesting special editions, like President Furby. The original Furby had a few spin-offs, like the slightly smaller Furby babies and the boneless variant Furby Buddies, which were just beanbags, essentially. There was also Furby's weird cousin Shelby. Then in 2005 came the Emototronic Furby, which are really scary looking, I'm sorry. They just kind of have this forlorn, soulless kind of look, like they've given up on life.
Tell me a story.
Ew.
In the same year, a remake of Furby Babies was released. They have legs, they're cursed, moving on. The 2006 Funky Furby was essentially a Emototronic Furby in fun colours. This seemed to start a bit of a trend because pretty much every Furby made beyond this point has been bright and colourful. The Funky Furby is incredibly rare and expensive, and fun fact, these are what the horror game Tattletale is based off of, if that tells you anything about them. No new Furbies were made until 2012 with the release of the new Down with the Kids Furby. Hasbro put their all into this reboot after the failure of so many of their previous releases. The 2012 Furby has LCD eyes to make them more animated and expressive, which was a much needed change in my opinion because this thing, the only emotion it's capable of is sorrow. You could pair these Furbies with an app which I've downloaded an APK of off of a dodgy website, you're welcome. It's no longer available on any app stores, so I used APK Pure, then exported the download into BlueStacks just in case you ever want to play it, or any game that isn't available anymore for that matter. And as far as I'm aware, you can still connect your Furby to this and play as normal. The Furby app, which is very creatively named Furby, is your pretty bog standard, only entertaining for 2 minutes iPod Touch app. You had to get your Furby to sit at the end of your device to connect to it. But it didn't use Bluetooth, oh no, it played these ear-bleeding high-pitched frequencies constantly throughout the app to communicate with your Furby, which sure was a choice. There are a handful of ways to interact with your Furby through this app. First of all, there were the deli and pantry features. You could swipe left and right to make a sandwich for your Furby, or choose from pre-made foods like burnt toast, you know, in case you really hate your Furby. Most of the features I couldn't really figure out because I don't have a Furby on me, but these two are supposed to be a translator and a voice changer, and one of them crashed my game. There's also a boombox feature where you can press different instruments to play music. And there's a Furbish dictionary and even a movie maker, which I remember loving as a kid. Look, there's me. You can even play a soundboard of annoying high-pitched frequencies. And the last thing on this app is of course throwing sheep about. So pretty solid Furby in comparison to the previous ones. I'm sure it had a lot of the same problems as Furby Boom, I've just never been personally victimised by a 2012 Furby. Next came Furby Boom, which is the main topic of this video, so I won't get into too much detail about them. They were very similar to the 2012 Furby, but they had a lot of really cool fur patterns compared to the solid colours of the 2012 version. And they also had a new app, which is so much better. Furby Boom also had a Crystal series which looked even cooler and unlocked new features in the app. In 2016 came Furby Connect once again with its own app, but this time it uses Bluetooth so you don't have to deal with the high-pitched noises, which is great. This is definitely the brain rot iPad kid of the Furbies. With yet another new Furby app, you can get your Furby to add unsubstantial commentary to videos just like your favourite YouTubers.
Look! Cat video! Wash behind the whiskers!
This Furby was a bit of a commercial fail, partly due to its high price point, but also a lot of people just hated its personality, with its quote-unquote particular focus on toilet humour. I do think it's really cute and super expressive though. And last but also least is the 2023 Furby. You know that meme that's like, what plush companies think is cute versus what's actually cute? You could literally take that and replace it with the 2023 Furby versus the 1998 Furby, which is really funny because I just looked the meme up so I could, quote it word for word, and the second result was literally someone that's already done that. Anyway, 2023 Furbies are bright and colourful and sparkly and most of all rotund. The eyes lose so much expression in replacement for a kinda kawaii desune look, for lack of better description. Its beak doesn't move, which is a bit weird. I think one of the most appealing gimmicks of the previous Furbies is how you can supposedly teach it English, and the more you play with it, the less Furbish it speaks. This one pretty much just speaks English from the get-go, so you've kind of lost the main motive to play with it. So there's a lot of cons to this, but one thing I found really interesting was how it's kind of designed to help with stress, which I think is really sweet. Its ears glow and it can play relaxing music and get you to do breathing exercises, so it's kind of grown on me. And I'm glad the kids of today are getting their feelings considered more. Also the pink and rainbow one, yeah, that's me in my truest form. So onto the main topic of this video, my personal beef with Furby Booms specifically. Furby Booms came in 18 different colourways, not including the 6 from the Crystal series, and I had this little peacock looking fella. My experience with Furby Boom started when I visited my friend's house one day. She had gotten a Furby Boom and I was absolutely enamoured with it. I played with it literally the whole time I was visiting, except just before I had to leave I came back to the Furby and the once cute and bubbly creature now had the voice of an old man, and I was horrified. And around this kind of time, I remember hearing this creepypasta about a talking kids toy that got hijacked through its voice box and was telling the kid to do things. I don't really remember much about it, but I do remember jumping to the conclusion of, oh my god, there's an old man hacking my friend's Furby. So I did what any responsible person would. Turned it off, tucked it in the back of her toy box, and prayed she didn't care about it enough to ever wake it up again. I'm not really sure why, but after this I was still desperate to get my own Furby Boom, and my granddad got me one for Christmas that year. I love my little friend so much, and I had the app on my mum's phone and she had like 50 babies. The Furby, not my mum. All was well until I brought the Furby in the car with me to my cousin's house one day, and the radio was on, and that was enough to completely change its personality, and I was mortified and I cried very hard. After doing some research, I found out they were supposed to switch between 5 personalities based on how you treat them. And since then I was walking on eggshells around my beloved Furby. I was genuinely scared to play with it in case it changed. Luckily mine never turned into an old man, but I was really scared it would. And that fear got so bad I eventually stopped playing with my Furby at all, content knowing if it never woke up, it would still be the same personality forever. I kept my Furby under my bed, and it kept waking up and talking in the middle of the night. I couldn't even be scared of being woken up like that because all that was on my mind was, oh god, it needs to turn off soon, otherwise it's going to change. So I took out the batteries, and what do you know, it kept waking up and talking even with no batteries, like it was haunted or something. So I threw my Furby out after that. I get why they'd make the personality switching a feature because Furbies only have so much they can do or say, and basically multiplying that by 5 is a way to keep kids entertained for longer. Maybe I'm the problem because the 2012 Furby had the same feature and it was never enough of an issue to remove it, But I don't know, it's just scary, man. The 5 possible Furby Boom personalities are as follows. The default personality they came with was the sweet personality. It's adorable, just the ideal personality really, and the one I always wanted to keep it as. It pretty much goes with anything. It likes to dance and be pet, solid personality, 10 out of 10.
Oh, hungry.
Then there's the hyper personality, which is the overexcitable, giggly valley girl kind of type. You can change your Furby to this by talking to it lots or getting it to watch TV.
The babies love it! Joe, likey! Hilarious!
Then there's the rockin' personality, whose only character trait is liking music. And you can change your Furby to this by, believe it or not, playing music around it.
Wow! Tato, mine alone. No more!
Then the feisty personality is kind of grumpy and irritable, but it likes to sing and dance, which is cute.
Zoning out now. Tell me about it.
And then the personality that's so bad I mistook it for being hacked by a child predator is the jolly personality. He had a deep voice with a Cockney accent, whereas all of the other personalities are more on the high-pitched feminine side. You get this personality by overfeeding your Furby. It burps and farts a lot and has a creepy laugh, and it moans when you touch it. I don't know, it's just really creepy to me. Looking back and watching videos of it and stuff are kind of underwhelming. From what I recall from my childhood, it was much creepier than that. I guess it was just the contrast as well. Imagine going from the sweet personality straight to that when you didn't even know the Furbies were supposed to change personalities. Yeah, it was scary. When Furbies change personality, they go through either an incredibly painful transformation or the complete opposite, if you know what I mean. And the way your heart just drops when you hear that, you just had to be there because that was some scary stuff. Now, should we talk about the Furby Boom app, because that went so hard for no reason whatsoever. It's also now unavailable, so I've also played it through an APK. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you open this app is the fact that even if you have your volume turned all the way down and your ringer off, it does its own thing and blasts music at full volume, which you then have to manually turn down in the app. I have very fond memories of asking my mum to play on her phone, and she was always like, sure, just not Furby Boom, lest it plays full volume music in the doctor's waiting room. You had the option to play without a Furby, which was nice, but you wouldn't get every feature the game has to offer. To interact with your Furby, you can give them a name. You can also give them a shower and turn the water freezing or super hot if you feel like torturing them, I guess. You could also feed your Furby your homework or maybe even a sock if you fancy. If your Furby's not feeling well, you can diagnose them with issues such as difurhoea and then mix ingredients together to find a cure. And lastly, you can get your Furby to go to the toilet with absolutely no details to spare. You can even spray some perfume to disguise the smell. The main selling point of this game is getting your Furby to lay eggs to hatch Furblings, which you can raise and then move them into a city. If you don't have a Furby, you can hire a surrogate mother off of Furby Craigslist. The Furblings you hatch can have different personalities, as represented by the particles around the egg as it hatches. My first Furbling was a princess and my second was chicken drumstick, the two genders. You can then name your Furbling by matching together two parts of a Furbish word, and it'd show the English translation. So naturally, as a child, I'd name all of my Furblings Doo-Doo, which translated to smell good, and of course this was peak comedy. I named the second Furbling I got Dada, which means Big Daddy. There were different activities you could do with your Furbling to raise it to live alone in an apartment block and never visit it again. The first was a juice bar in which you had to pick 3 different ingredients to make a drink, and each Furbling has different tastes. You start off with normal ingredients like bananas and strawberries and ice cream, but you can spend the game's currency, known as Furbucks, to buy other more exotic ingredients like a literal raccoon carcass. Needless to say, Doo-Doo didn't enjoy her roadkill smoothie. Ungrateful brat. You could also bathe your Furblings in actual shit and scrub it off with a live hedgehog. I just feel like this really teaches kids a great message about proper pet care, as the Furby franchise intended. Then there were the mini-games you could play with your Furbling. My personal favourite was hide and seek, where your Furbling jumps into a pit of balloons, I guess, and you have to pop the balloons to find where it's hiding. I remember loving this game. I don't remember it being so slow-paced though. I just feel like it needs a little something. Yep, there we go, that's perfect. There was also football, or furball as they called it, which is genuinely really difficult. And then a rhythm game, which you need 2 fingers for a lot of parts, so I can't really play it on PC properly, which is a shame. You can also decorate your Furbling's little apartment cube. So yeah, all in all, banger game, makes up for the horror the toys have caused me. Overall, Furby boom, lovely to look back on, incredibly distressing to actually experience in the moment. But let me know what you think. Was anyone else scared to death of the personality changes, or was that just a me thing? But that is all from me. Like and subscribe for a free roadkill smoothie. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and goodbye!